through the coming out of the Olympics. What have you done as a staff, and what have the players done? We know their statistics, but what have you done? You're at the top.
Well, I don't know if we're there yet. We're not. We're working really hard to be what those top teams are and who those top teams are. You know, I think it was just these guys needed time. Like, they needed time together. They needed those game moments together where they were making those reads. You know, understanding. You know, when AB and Caitlin are in a pick and roll. You know, where's AB going to go? What's her next read? Like, and then we just kind of broke down all those things and showed these guys like where those open areas are with the attention that Caitlin, AB, NaLyssa Smith, Kelsey Mitchell, that they draw. I think that's part of it, just the time together. But you know, during that break, we spent a lot of time working on just some team chemistry stuff, just getting to know each other, not on the basketball court where the pressure was just on from day one, you know, but just being able to spend that time together, get to know each other. You've seen it translate onto the court as well. I loved listening to our players the other night talk about the joy, playing with joy. Like, they you know, that's so good to hear as a coach that the players are feeling that.
Anybody else in the room?
Yeah.
Anything?
How do you contain Enrique and Satu?
Yeah,
Not
that's
stop them, but contain them.
Yeah, that's the contain is a good word. You know, we're gonna just try to throw different things at them. I mean, these guys are averaging, like, in their last few games, like the points that they're putting up, it's incredible. They just have all the firepower. We're just gonna have to try to make them uncomfortable as much as we can. Limit their touches. Try to limit, you know, Enrique's touches where. I mean, she's just, you know, ice in the veins. She can just put the ball in the hole. Satu the same way. And then you got those bigs down there that just make it really hard. You know, it's when they shoot it, you just got to make sure you're putting a body and moving them out the way. But, you know, try to throw some different things at them.
Chris, one thing that I think you'll forget, that the first game between you two, they won, but you actually dominated points in the paint and rebounding. And has your team progressed in that area even more so since back then?
Yeah, I think watching that last game, that was a tough one because we were really hoping to go into the break with that win, you know, and so just had to think about that loss throughout the break. I think where we've gotten better is some of those in that game. We missed some wide open shots late in that fourth quarter when we had got back, and then also the firepower that these guys have, they can get and put up numbers really quick, and we've done a better job of stopping the bleeding and being able to stop those moments where teams were making those runs. So that's, you know, I think that for me is where we've gotten a little bit better. Didn't show in the last couple games where we didn't start off so great, but got to figure that one out.
Go ahead, Nancy.
The pace with what your team plays with is phenomenal. And, you know, like you just mentioned, stopping runs, to me, that's taking advantage of less turnovers and turning it into offensive possessions.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a team, the only other person I've seen, and you can correct me, push the ball over the top all the time is Alicia Gray. Because when Caitlin gets it, I mean, I don't know if they had this discussion at lunch. Hey, just run.
Yeah.
Don't jump. Sprint. You're going to get layups.
Yeah.
So that to me was the turnovers are better, and I think that speaks to what you said about chemistry and understanding spacing. And the other thing is Mitchell. I mean, it's unbelievable what she's doing.
Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell is, she's special, she's unique, she's one of the fastest players on the court all the time. You get her in any type of actions where it's her speed that's going to get her open, you can scheme for it. She's going to be able to get a touch just because of how quick she is. And then her ability to get downhill. I mean, when she catches and if you're there, you know, you need to be moving in that direction to have a chance to keep up with her. I mean, and then she's shooting the ball so well right now. Caitlin and AB are drawing some attention in some of those pick and rolls, and the help side's having to come over, and it's just leaving her wide open for some great shots, and she's knocking them down, her and Lexi Hall as well.
Coach, is there comfort in knowing that a lot of this damage that your team is doing right now is on the road as you kind of look towards the playoffs and possibly seeding, and you might be on the road a lot? Is there comfort in knowing that
Yeah, anytime in this league's incredible. I mean, it's the toughest league in the world, and when you go on the road and win, it doesn't matter who you play. You need to take, that is a great win. You always say you want to take care of those home games, and when you can grab one on the road. So for us to pick up the game in Chicago the other night was huge. They're on a mission as well. But we spent so much time on the road early when we weren't getting those wins, and we learned a lot from that as well. So looking forward to this home stretch we got coming up.
Coach, you talked about the break and how impactful the break was for your team. And if you look at teams that have multiple Olympians on the team, how they kind of struggle coming back. Can you talk a little bit more in depth about the impact of the break and how y'all team benefited from that?
Yeah. First, I think just the rest that we got. I think, Caitlin had been playing, come right off of her college season. There were some, going through a season, you're going to pick up a little, some bumps and some bruises, a few little injuries that when you have that time to be able to completely heal and finish out the second half of the season, that was for me the best part. And then the chemistry piece, just the time spent, the practices, we were able to break down things. When you start in training camp at the beginning of the season, you don't have a lot of time. I mean, we came here after 8-9 days of practice, so to play that first preseason game. So just to have some time together to work on things, to break things down, it's been huge for our young group, especially.
And just how have you seen Lexi progress just from the beginning of the season, and how has she impressed you in these last few games she started?
Yeah, she's shooting the hell out of the ball. That's number one. But she's on the defensive end. She's so aggressive, and she wants to make a play. And she's really learned to just stay really disciplined with her defense and just take over whoever that person is that she's been put in charge of to defend. She's just doing a great job with that, but she's also giving us several more possessions a game by just getting in there. And she might not get the offensive rebound all the time, but she's going to get in there and tip it to somebody. She's just so active, but she's doing what she does well. When, she's ready to shoot, whether that's in the corner or in the slot. She's just got her feet and her hands ready to knock it down.
Got one more.
My last question is, my son always says to me, check on people who are strong. I view you as somebody who is really strong and have admired you for everything you've done for this game here, Europe. How are you doing with this extraordinary generational situation? And I say this because when Pat Riley came to the Lakers in '80 and he had Magic Johnson, and he and I talked about this at length, and I look at you, here you are still a young coach,
Yeah.
and you have the Caitlin effect, which people can say it's not there, but then, they don't have a pulse. It's real, it's generational with your team, and she's doing collectively. How are you doing with it?
It's been a journey. Second year head coach, in the second year of a rebuild, when, I went through this with Pokey Chapman as the head coach in Chicago, and we had a couple years, it took us 3 years to get to the playoffs. In that fourth and fifth year, we were in the semis and the finals. The world that we live in today wants results now. They want you to be good now. And that was the hardest piece, was just trying to keep our players, just stay with the process. Like, stay with what we know is going to be a great product later. It's going to be hard early. So the challenge was just keeping it from going sideways. And, the thing I keep saying is I have great people in that locker room. We have great players in that locker room that showed up every day. I would ask people, I would call people, I'd be like, but no one has an answer really, because this scouting report is just way different than anything that's ever been done before with what's going on in the world, in women's basketball, in sports. I wouldn't even call it women's basketball. So, just stayed the course and just tried to keep the outside noise on the outside and not let that get into me or to our group. And that's just kind of how we processed it and moved forward. And asked me today, just to see the results now, it is, answered prayers, because there was a lot of praying that was being done.
The last one on Zoom, Matt.
Yeah, hi, Christy. Last time you were in Dallas, you guys led late and then it got away, and then 2 times ago in Chicago, you know, you led late and got away, and you redeemed that on Friday. So I'm just curious if, after all these, you know, weeks and months after the break, do you remind your team of, you know, the specific moments of, you know, the last time at Dallas, to, you know, redeem it again, I guess, or have you kind of flushed that as a team?
Yeah, after going back and watching the Dallas game, like in prep for this game tonight, like we're a totally different team. Like we're just a different team on the defensive end of the floor. But yeah, I mean, but that's been something that has plagued us, and we've got to get better at it. I think just our resolve and us being able to be down, you know, 21, whatever it was, 6 against Chicago, and then be able to come back after that timeout and just lock in. Like we've just got to figure out how to do that sooner from the beginning, and that will, you know, help out in those moments that you're talking about.
All right, 50, your performance post-Olympics has been phenomenal, just drawing a lot of attention, positive attention towards the team. Just reflecting on just the first half of the season, what aspects of your game do you feel has evolved or improved, just contributing to this massive success run you're on right now?
Yeah, I think we kind of built some confidence before going into that break, that we were playing good basketball, we had some good wins. And then I thought, you know, we had 3 weeks where we had all of our team together and really just got to work on things that we wanted to work on. And I thought, you know, our chemistry just keeps building from game to game. Like obviously we're a young group, so the more we get to play together, the more we practice together, I think the better we've got. So I'm just proud of us in that regard. It feels like every single night we've taken a step forward, and that's kind of what Coach Christie has just been preaching, is just getting 1% better every single day. But I think for myself, it's just comfortability. You know, you just get more comfortable out there as things go, and more you play more games. So I would say that for myself.
I know that obviously, you know, fame comes with the territory, but for mental purposes, how has that, you know, you've been able to deal with that as far as, you know, over the course of your college career now, just all the attention, things of that nature? Mentally?
Yeah, I think surrounding yourself with the right people is always really important. There's going to be moments that are really good. There's going to be moments that are bad. Like that's every professional athlete on whatever stage it is. That's every college athlete. Like, you know, some days are going to be better than others. There's going to be great wins. There's going to be hard losses. And so it's just the people that you surround yourself with. And, you know, obviously everybody wants to be there when everything's great and amazing, but it's the people who want to be there when things aren't as good. Those are the people that you need to rely on. And I think for myself, I have a good circle around me, whether that's, you know, friends and family, whether that's my teammates, whether that's our coaches. Making sure that, you know, they always have your best interest in heart. You know, they always are going to be looking out for you. So I think just worrying about what's inside your locker room and then the people you love outside your locker room, like that's the most important thing. And that's really all that I care about. And at the end of the day, like, you know, this is just basketball. Like, there's a lot more going on in this world, and that's way more important than basketball. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. You know, this is a sport, and how lucky are we that, you know, we get to play this at the highest level as our job. So for me, I just try to, you know, remind myself of that every day. And, you know, if one day's tough, you know, you move on to the next and surround yourself with the right people.
Go in the back.
Kate, since the break, you guys have been on fire. What are you guys doing differently, or what helped bring the team together?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the pace that we play at, I think that's been better for us. I think, you know, pushing in transition, that's where we've been very successful. I think Kels has been playing really good basketball, so, you know, she only makes my life easier when you have that 1-2 combo in the backcourt. It's a lot of fun for myself to play that way. I think our posts have been really good. I think we're just playing up tempo. Obviously, Lexi's been tremendous, especially on the defensive end. Like, she just brings a spark and a tenacity about her that, you know, maybe we weren't always getting on the defensive end, and she's just willing to do whatever it takes for this team, and it's helped our defense improve a lot. So I think offensively and defensively, we've taken a step forward, and, you know, that's kind of what the coaches challenged us in going into that break too.
Did you guys like hang out or anything?
Yeah, of course.
Just kind of like watch you guys closer?
Yeah, I mean, we practiced. We had training camp basically. It felt more than training camp. Like we were practicing, you know, 2.5 hours a day, and doing fun stuff outside of basketball too, which, you know, like that's how you build relationships with your teammates, which are really important off the court as well.
Caitlin, can you speak to the offensive continuity your team is just playing on? I mean, you just mentioned Kelsey, you just mentioned Lexi, like the spacing on the court looks amazing. Like, could you just speak on the offense?
Yeah, I think we're just like playing pretty basketball, clean basketball. You know, we want to play in transition. Like that's our first goal. We don't want to have to come down and run a set every single time. I think we're just playing off one another, and you know that's hard to guard when you're not, you know, really running set offense or plays or whatever it is. You know, we're just making good reads off of our teammates, setting our teammates up for success. And I think honestly we're doing a good job of finding really good shots. Like we're finding great shots, we're making the one more pass. I think that's helped us shoot a higher percentage. We're shooting the three really well. But also, you know, that helps you in transition defense, which is an area we were weak in. You know, it's easier to get back when you're taking higher percentage shots and making more shots. So I think we're just playing off one another and just understand each other better, honestly.
Got time for one or two more guys? Anybody?
When you set the assist record here right before the break, you said you have a tendency to overpass. When you look back at the film, did you overpass in that game or not?
Honestly, I still felt like there was at times with the way they guard ball screens a lot, they're back and drop coverage where I could have came off and been a little more aggressive. And I honestly didn't shoot it here well that game, so I felt like I kind of shied away from a few shots I probably could have taken. But at the same time, like, I was doing a good job of getting my teammates good looks. I had 19 assists or whatever. So I think the coaches always just challenged me to stay aggressive and take shots. And people probably think that's funny now, especially when I was in college. Like, that was never a problem. But honestly, like, I just love passing the ball. Like, sometimes, like, I know how good our team is. I know how good Kels is and AB, and especially me running the floor. Like, my eyes are always on our post players and wanting to set them up first. And then getting to play with Kels, like, you know, you always have to be on the lookout for her because she's just so good. I mean, she's shooting at such a high clip. So I think it's taking the shots that are good for the team. Those are the ones that the coaches challenge me. Like, you can't pass those up. If this is a good shot for the team, you have to take that. But I don't think I overpassed it. I think it did pretty well for us. Our defense was just really bad.
Do you think your shot's coming around, and if so, is there a reason for it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I definitely haven't shot it to the best of my capabilities this year, but I feel like I've had a lot of tough rolls. Like, my shot feels really good, and you go back and watch it, and it's not anything mechanically that seems different. I think I'm definitely taking harder shots. You know, I'm contested pretty well on a lot of shots, and I honestly make a lot of the harder ones and miss the easier ones. So I'm not always used to being wide open sometimes when I have catch and shoot threes and stuff like that. So I think it's just, you know, continuing to take the ones that are good. And, you know, last game I had a great shooting game, and, you know, that's just how it goes when you're a shooter. You know, some games you're going to get hot, some games you're not. You're going to be cold for a few games in a row, then you'll get really hot. That's just how it works. And, yeah, I think it'll definitely come around to where I can get on a little hot streak. So.
All right. Well, you know,